So the Nats win 2 yesterday, and I've told you, look out for the Nats, and we'll look in a few moments at how those sweeps affect the standings yesterday in the National League East. Let's take a look real quick at the chat room. Who's with us this morning?
Well, it looks like we got Lou and Andy and Beerman and Big Al on the Prowl. Big Al on the Prowl, I want to take just a moment and address your question about Adberto Alzolay. Just real quick, I called and spoke with Craig Mish. We discussed him, I believe, Monday afternoon. And what I got from that conversation, and I don't necessarily agree with it, but what I got from that conversation is Alzolay will be a spot start probably while Kyle Hendricks is on the DL or IL, excuse me. Now, that a lot could depend on how well he does, correct? If he comes out and he's lights out, we'll see. But whether he pitches or not, that's another story. But I don't think I'm adding Alzolay. I'm a little weary of Alzolay, number one, if he is pitching, how long he will pitch. Number two, he's had a little bit of trouble with his control. He does strike out a lot, but he's very fastball dependent. So I'm a little concerned about that. Good morning also to Beerman, if I didn't say that already. It's good to see you guys in the chat room this morning. Good morning to Easy Kill, to Bradley, to Caloronus Cyclonus, Cam, Cha-Cha, Chris Allen, Chris Gallo, DK Luce, Donkey Okie, J Gibbs, and I can't pronounce it, Divda Bizel, I guess, Lenny, that guy, Timothy Hooker, Unholy Toledo, and we have a guest, Zachary, in the chat room. Look, if you are in the chat room and you're a guest, I want you to do me a favor, register and log in. This is a great network, and you get different perspectives from all the different hosts. So it's great to see everybody here this morning. Andrea says Alzolay won't be starting Thursday's game. Tyler Chatwood takes the mound. What I read was that he will come in somewhat Chatwood like an opener, and Alzolay in middle innings. And Andrea, that may be different than what you know, because I'll yield to you if you know different. But that's what I have been reading, that he'll be sort of a middle reliever in that game on Thursday. In Oakland yesterday, the Orioles invade Oakland Coliseum, and the A's win 8-3 over the Orioles. Bassett was the winning pitcher. He went 5 2/3, only gave up 2 hits, struck out 6. The Orioles, they employed somewhat of an opener. Yacobonis started the game, went 2 innings, only gave up 1 hit. Rogers comes in the third, pitches 3 innings, gives up 3 runs. He's the losing pitcher. Armstrong comes in the 6th, gives up 4 more runs. Oakland A's, Piscotty, 2 doubles yesterday. 1 off Rogers, 1 off Armstrong. Chapman hits a double off Rogers. They're starting to warm up in Oakland. Semien goes 2 for 4. And I just mentioned Matt Chapman. His average is now at 261. He went 2 for 4 yesterday. One of those was an RBI off of a ground out. The other was on the double. I love Matt Chapman. He's got a pristine spot in that order, batting second in the order. Chris Davis, 1 for 4. Laureano, 1 for 4. Kano, 1 for 3. Piscotty, 2 for 4. And how about their catcher? You know, I know he doesn't play full time, but when Josh Phegley is in the lineup, he's worth an add in daily lineups for sure if he's not stashed on your season-long team. He went 2 for 4 yesterday, 3 RBIs. Those RBIs are courtesy of a home run that Phegley hit.
That number would never be worn again. Phegley, left field. Wilkerson back at the wall, and that baby's gone. The A's are at it again. A 3-run homer here in the bottom of the 5th. Continues, folks. Little slider mixing up top of the zone. Josh Phegley pulled a hands through, and the Vegasaurus takes a big bite out of a mistake down the middle. Puts the A's on the board just over the camera.
Big win for Oakland, beating the Orioles 8-3.
Those bats are waking up. The weather's getting warm. They're 39 and 36. They are major players in the wild card race in the American League. And Luzardo, Jesus Luzardo, he's coming up really soon. I've been telling you, if he's not owned in your league, he needs to be. He's going to be a difference maker. He's that kind of left-handed arm, the number one left-handed arm in the minor leagues right now. And he is at AAA this weekend. I'm going to pay careful attention to his performance Saturday at AAA. Number one, how many innings does he throw? Number two, how many walks does he give up? Because I think if he pitches deep into the game and has control, that may be a signal he is closer than you might think to being up in the major leagues with Oakland.
Driven towards right center field for Reyes. Back goes Kane, looking up. It is gone! 3-run home run for the Franimal. Franmil Reyes takes it out to right center and gives the Padres their lead back again. It's 8-7 San Diego.
Unleash the Franmil, Franmil Reyes. It's his 20th home run. That's the difference maker. It's 8 for the Padres, 7 for the Brewers. What an offensive explosion yesterday. That 7th inning home run off Jeffress was the difference maker for Franmil Reyes, his 20th of the year. How many people own Franmil Reyes? It's question number 2. How many of us drafted him? Were you able to pick him up off waivers? He's hitting 3 for 4 yesterday, 3 RBIs. He's hitting only 249, but you get a lot of power with that bat. And he's now got 36 RBIs on the season. Also for the Padres, it's just a list of great hitting here. Fernando Tatis Jr. goes 2 for 4. He's now at 333 on the season, batting leadoff. Coming into the year, you had Jimenez for the White Sox, you had Guerrero Jr. for the Blue Jays, and you have Fernando Tatis Jr. for the Padres. If I were ranking those right now, based on performance this far, Tatis Jr. number 1, Jimenez a close behind number 2, and Guerrero third. Now, coming into the year in drafts, I would bet $5 that Guerrero was drafted before any of those three. But Tatis is now at the top of the order. He's playing ball. I'm telling you, that bat is hitting. Hosmer went 3 for 5 yesterday, 2 RBIs. He's now up to 288 on the year. He hit his 11th homer in the first inning yesterday off Zach Davies. Machado, talking about him, 2 for 5. He's heating up, is Manny Machado. He's now up average-wise to 270. And Garcia continues to hang on at second base. He went 1 for 4 yesterday. He tripled off Davies. That was his third triple of the year. And the San Diego Padres, they've got Luis Urias on the farm, but they are not calling him up. And I guess as long as Greg Garcia hits, they're going to continue to go with Garcia. You can only, history is the best indication of future performance. And that's what the Padres have been doing. Urias seems ready. He's hitting over 350 at AAA, but the Padres continue to go with Greg Garcia at second base. Now, for the Brewers, they hit the ball too. Plus, let me say, my favorite Brewer, Mike Moustakas. Mike Moustakas will be back this weekend, if not today, for the Brewers. He's always breaking fingers, but when he breaks a finger or gets hit on the hand, it seems like the next day when Moustakas comes back, he's hitting home runs, right? Well, yesterday he wasn't in the lineup. Night before, he was hit on the hand with a pitch. He will be back this weekend, nothing broken. Kane, 2 for 5 yesterday. Yelich. What about Christian Yelich? Can you say enough about Christian Yelich? He has got to be MVP in the National League this year. And yesterday, Yelich hits home run number 27 in San Diego.
Fox Sports Wisconsin.
Yes. Yelich sends one deep into right center. That one's not coming back. A booming homer by Christian Yelich, number 27. The sweetest swing going, Christian Yelich, man.
Yelich, wow. Superman. I think he was wearing a Superman cape yesterday. 3 for 5. That RBI on the home run, he's hitting 345. And we've talked about his splits. his home average in power versus his road average in power. Well, yesterday he showed us, didn't he? Look, you guys quit talking about my road splits. 3 for 5. About Braun. Braun, 2 for 4 yesterday, 3 RBIs. Grandal, 1 for 5. He hit his 16th home run off Reyes with 2 on in the 7th to make it close. That made it 8-7. But the Padres do win. Pitching-wise, Zach Davies is back down to earth. 2 2/3 yesterday, 9 hits, 5 earned, 3 walks, only 3 strikeouts. What was it, about 3 or 4 weeks ago, the ERA was in the 1s. Well, now it's in the 3s. Jeffress, he was the losing pitcher, giving up that home run to Franmil Reyes, his blown save. For the Padres, Matt Strom started yesterday. He went 5 innings, gave up 5 hits, 4 earned, only struck out 2. The bullpen was incredible. Whistler with his 4th hold, White with his 8th hold, Reyes, the winning pitcher, Perdomo with a hold, and Stamen with his 3rd save. San Diego takes care of business at home, beating the Brewers 8-7. Now the Padres are 38-37, just sweeping the Brewers. A lot of sweeps yesterday. So watch out, San Diego. They're players in that wild card race in the National League. I'll give a quick shout out to the Seattle-Kansas City game. Certainly, these are last place teams. Seattle wins 8-2 yesterday. Domingo Santana, he's the one I want to talk about. He started the year hot. There's just something about him. I don't know. He's not a great defensive player. Of course, we don't care about that in fantasy. But the bat, it just keeps hitting, right? He hit his 15th homer yesterday, 14th and 15th, off of Keller in the 1st, off of Flynn in the 6th. He went 3 for 4 with 5 RBIs. He's hitting .279 on the year. And I wonder if he's available in some leagues. We talk about we don't always follow the West Coast games like we probably should, but Domingo Santana continues to crush it. He's been doing it all year. Now he has 54 RBIs on the season. Another player on that team who didn't start the year in the lineup, he's in it now. He's going to play every day, it looks like. Vogelbach homered yesterday. He hit his 18th in the 1st inning off Keller. He now has 42 RBIs on the year. So I want to bring up those 2 players with Seattle. They're players that are so fantasy relevant, and I'm looking for them. I'm looking for them. You make a trade and get something cheap out of it. Yesterday in Pittsburgh, the Pirates come back. The Pirates were down in this game 7-3. Okay? They scored 2 in the 5th. They score 3 in the 6th. They go on to win the game by a score of 8-7. And how about this Reynolds kid for Pittsburgh? Has he not been just a hitting terror at the plate this year? He continues to rake. The Pirates have a dilemma. Do they put Polanco on the bench?
That one's cracked out to left. Stewart can't find it. It's out of here. Brian Reynolds has put the Pirates in the lead. They were down a half dozen, and the Pirates have a lead in this game thanks to that rookie rip by Reynolds.
Brian Reynolds, his 6th home run. That put the Pirates were down 7-5 before that home run. Reynolds went through, and that put them ahead 8-7. That was the difference maker. Game-winning RBI. Listen to this line. Reynolds, 4 at-bats, 3 runs, 3 hits, 3 RBIs. He's up to 362. That's right. Let me say it one more time. Brian Reynolds, starting every day, he's hitting 362 for the Pirates. He was not drafted. Guaranteed. He should have been, probably has been picked up on waivers. What a great waiver ad. And so I want us to talk about this. Who is your best waiver ad so far this year in fantasy? And if Brian Reynolds was a guy that you added, he's got to be near the top of the list. So I'm going to be looking in the chat room in just a moment. Send me who you say are your favorite ads of the year. Also for the Pirates, Marte, 1 for 3, 2 RBIs. He's now hitting 283 on the year. Marte homered. It was his 11th. There was 1 on in the 5th. He hit that off Ramirez for Detroit. The Pirates wake up from the dead. I guess they don't want to be in last place. They see the Reds passing them, so they think we better start winning some games. For the Tigers, Kristen